learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose. US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
This is Paul Feinbaum. That'll do it for me today. Coming up next, The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The Braves roll into the 2025 season with a singular focus. Bring home the division title and remind the league what Atlanta is all about.
Swung on, driven to left center field and deep. That baby's out of here. Austin Riley. 3-0 to Olsen, and he powers one. Deep right center field to the wall. It's gonna fly. It's a home run. Back-to-back homers.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa, starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Would you call a plumber for a root canal? The same goes for selling your timberland or farm. Choose someone who understands your property and can help you on the front end so you can capitalize on the back end. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction. As a guide, I have put many hunters in position to take a shot. It's time for you to take your shot. Let's talk about putting you in position to sell your property. Call me at 256-609-0512. Remember, Bo knows land.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Sports Talk, 24/7, 365. Your full-time sports station.
You're doing a great job. Keep up the good work.
Is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Doesn't anyone do any work around this joint anymore?
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Well, many sports talk show hosts have been waiting for this day. Shoeless Joe Jackson and Pete Rose have been removed from the permanently ineligible list.
Not just them, they removed everybody.
Yeah.
From the I mean, those are the guys that are talked about the most.
Yeah.
Forever, but they removed everybody. Who's everybody though?
Those are the two most prominent names on that list, but I don't have even the.
Did he say why they were going?
I do have. I'm going to get into that story a little bit more. I've also got some audio from former Commissioner Bart Giamatti as the Major League Baseball press release that this is the headline: issues policy decision on permanent ineligibility status after death. That's the name of the article that was produced by Major League Baseball and Commissioner Rob Manfred today. So we'll get into that a little bit. Braves and Nationals come up later on tonight. Don't forget, over on Talk Radio, WZZN, that is our sister station. You've got Trash Panda Baseball, as the Trash Pandas, they are down in Pensacola taking on the Blue Wahoos as first pitch later on this evening over on Talk Radio, WZZN. If you want a theme for this particular show, we're going to go with rings. There's a lot of rings involved in today's show. Woody McCorvey is going to join us coming up in hour number 2. Of course, he is the chief of staff, most notably named by Dabo Sweeney there for the
He's
Clemson.
The godfather of football is what he is.
He really is. But right out of the gate,
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's over. The Philadelphia Eagles have won Super Bowl 59. They have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs 40-22. It's their second Super Bowl win in 7 years. What a game. What a season.
That is the incomparable Merrill Reese on the play-by-play call there for the Philadelphia Eagles. And it's no better person to talk to right out of the gate than Joe Pannunzio, who is assistant special teams coach for the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. How are you, Coach?
Stephen West, thank you for having us. It's obviously been a good off season. It was a lot to win the Super Bowl. I know the ending looked like it was pretty easy, but it was a year that we had to overcome and kind of face some obstacles. We finished the season last year, and it was a debacle. It was an embarrassment, and then we were off to a 2-2 start, and we decided we were going to become a football team. And to be honest with you, we kind of did it the way Coach Saban had done it. We looked ourselves right in the mirror, and we became a tough and a physical football team, and it changed our whole season.
So you've been around football for a lot. I mean, you coached with Tommy Tuberville at Ole Miss. You were with Coach Saban, of course. And when you say tough, I mean, it's a tough football team. That's hard to do, to dominate like y'all kind of did in the Super Bowl against a team that was favored to win. You just totally dominated. Did you see that coming?
Yeah, I did see it coming, though, and we really felt like we had a chance if we could get it into a game that was built on toughness and it didn't become a space game. We had a chance, but obviously, the very best player in the league is Patrick Mahomes, and if you allow him to get going, that's a problem. And our defensive line, that was the thing I think that probably struck everybody, and it probably surprised us. We were able to pressure him with just four defensive linemen, and I don't think we blitzed the whole game. And ultimately, that's what was the outcome of the game. We were able to affect the quarterback, as Coach Saban would always say. If you could affect the quarterback, you got a chance to win, and we affected a really good quarterback in Patrick Mahomes.
So what's so cool to me about Philadelphia is all the Alabama connections there. And now Georgia. I mean, you pretty much just draft Alabama and Georgia players, and y'all did it again this draft. Mostly And you look at Blankenship from right here in North Alabama, played for Middle Tennessee. There was a guy from Huntsville High School on the roster as well.
Yeah, I mean, for us, the first thing I think we did here in the last couple of years, we went and got the Alabama, Georgia kids because they knew what it was supposed to look like. They knew what it was. And then, again, I'm biased. When you get Southern kids, football is just a little bit more important. And Reed Blankenship is a perfect example of that. I mean, to be honest, he could have played for us at Alabama. I'm sure he could have played at Auburn, but we all overlooked him. He went to Middle Tennessee. And then there's a kid, Nick Morrow, that's right there from Huntsville.
Played
Nick
guard at
he
Huntsville
went
High.
to school. I don't even know the name of that college. I'm shocked.
It's a Division
This
III
guy's got an
school.
8 or 9 year career.
He was in my daughter's class, and I never heard of him. And when he got drafted by, was he drafted by the Raiders or just got a free agent? I just saw he made the team.
Yeah, I think he got a free agent slot, and then we picked him up in the middle of the year because we had a few injuries, and we brought him in, and we'd had him the year before. He is so wonderful, and as good a player as he is, he's even a better person. And I mean, he again, it added to our football team. And then we had I even forget his name now. I hate to say it, a fullback that played at Vanderbilt. And
yeah, he's from Huntsville, Blasingame.
Yeah.
Blasingame.
Yeah, he went to Buckhorn.
Buckhorn High School. Yeah, right where I live.
Yeah, and both of those kids, or I say peoples, I mean, they're, again, unbelievable people, but really good football players. And Huntsville, Huntsville turns out a lot of good players too. So we were loaded with Southern kids for sure.
So you had an Auburn guy who from Huntsville as well.
Yeah, he was one of my children. I love him, Rudy Ford.
Rudy Ford, yes, we've interviewed Rudy up here a couple times.
Yeah, when he made the commitment to Auburn, we had him on.
We had him on.
Yeah, and Rudy's story is unbelievable, and he's such a great athlete, and I think his time is over. He played 8 or 9 years in the league, and people don't understand, to play that long in this league, how really good you got to be, and then really lucky to stay healthy during that whole time. But all three of those, and Reed Blankenship's another one. And I don't know if you remember Quez Watkins. Quez played at Southern Miss. He played for us here, and he's from the same hometown as Reed is from. So we've had a bunch of North Alabama kids here.
Coach, did you always want to be a coach when you were at Southern Colorado back in the day?
Yeah, but I'm going to say this. I think when I first started, I wanted to be a coach for all the wrong reasons. I wanted to be rich, and I wanted to be famous, and I wanted to be known as that guy that had the offense and the guru or whatever it was. But I learned really quick, like within the first 2 or 3 years, that there's something way bigger than winning football games and doing what we do, and that is touching kids' lives. Kids need good people in their lives, and most of these players, contrary to popular belief, they're really good people, and they just need direction, and most of them need some fathers in their life that could help them. And then the greatest thing about all of this is you see them 10 or 15 years later, and they're raising kids in the right manner. They become something, and they make you really proud. They're almost like raising your own children.
So, I just came to the conclusion with your last name, Pannunzio, that you were from Philadelphia until I looked at your bio today, which is Colorado, which means that you're probably in the witness protection program. Was that the case? I didn't know you were from Pueblo, Colorado.
I'm going to say this. With my last name and the way I look, it really helps me because they do think I'm in the mafia. So every one of these players is afraid to mess with me. So that does help. But the truth of the matter is this. My great-grandfather came over from Onion, Italy, and he was a coal miner and he was a farmer. And when he came to Ellis Island, I think they gave him an intelligence test, and my family was not smart enough to pass it. So they sent us as far west as we could possibly go, and we ended up in Colorado. And there's a little population in my hometown called Pueblo, Colorado. And believe this or not, it has the largest steel mill west of the Mississippi. So I kind of came from a steel farming background.
Which makes you it's kind of like Philadelphia, right? Around Pittsburgh more. Philadelphia, I guess.
Is a special place now. Philadelphia, these people are different, and I love it. It's right into. It's not all right to be average, and it's not all right to be average in Alabama either. So
I guess
you're either really good or you're not good enough.
Yeah. So 7 years ago, we had this guy. Their guy died. Was actually 8 years ago, because I remember this. Y'all won the first Super Bowl 7 years ago, and it was a year before they won the Super Bowl. A Philadelphia fan asked one of the Philadelphia players to be his pallbearers, and it was in the spring because he wanted the Philadelphia Eagles to let him down one last time. that was on the national
Omen.
sports. Yeah,
that was,
and the next year they won
the
Super
Super Bowl the next year. Yeah.
But how many principles, Coach, are y'all using? Because you have, of course, Stoutland, who I thought was the best offensive line coach Alabama had under Coach Saban. You might have different opinion on that, but there's a lot of connections up there.
No, we got the Alabama connection for sure going on, and really a lot of the things that Coach Saban taught all of us have been things that we have carried on and tried to live by here. The process, the standards, the principles, and the values of the organization, all the stuff that he brainwashed all of us into hearing every day. That's what we try to do here. I mean, and you know, for me, like I was with him for 7 years. Like some mornings I wake up and it's one of those mornings and you go to make the bed and it's not done just exactly right, but it's kind of good enough. And I start to walk away and I could hear Saban's voice like, oh, that's the standard we're going to live by today. That's what we're going to let go by. And I go back and I make the bed and I shake my head. I can't shake him. So he changed all of our lives forever, probably in a very good way.
So what was it like being, I guess you were the operations guy for 3 years. How that had to be a lot of pressure on you.
No, I mean, it was so blessed because it was like taking a doctoral program in how you run not only a football program, not only an organization, but the way you should run your life. And it was, and then I came back as a coach for him for 2 years. And I'm forever indebted to him. I mean, for those that were lucky enough to play for Coach Brian, I'm sure they feel the same way. And for me to be around him, it changed my life in a very positive way. And whenever this ride is over in Philadelphia, I'm coming back to Alabama, and I will live and die in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, when this is all over. I love Alabama.
I've heard that Coach Saban is now texting a lot of his former assistants. Do you get text messages from Coach Saban, Coach?
I was shocked when I got a text from him. I couldn't believe that was happening. And then, to be honest with you, he still is very much a part of all of our lives. And whenever we call, or he'll call sometimes, and he helped us out throughout the whole season. Whenever we would hit some bumps or had some questions, he and as you know, he's a wealth of knowledge, and he loves all of us, and he wants us to be successful. So he's been great to us and for us.
Were you surprised when he stepped aside?
I don't think I was. I was hoping that he would be able to do it at the right time. That was the right time for him. And it seems to me like, and just listening to him a little bit too, is he's really enjoying where he's at in his life. And I don't know how you feel, but I'm biased. I mean, there ain't a better guy on TV right now than him.
There's no question. It makes
he's helping our game. And I know the other day I saw where President Trump's talking about trying to get him involved in leading this college thing and trying to get it a little bit better. I mean, he probably won't do that, but he certainly should have a hand in it because he knows how it can be fixed and what needs to happen. And I think it can be fixed.
Boy, you've been around a lot of great minds, not only Coach Saban, but looking through your history, Coach, from Coach Jim Wacker, as well as Tommy Tuberville and Nick Saban. But Bill Snyder also kind of stands out to me as well. It feels like you've been around a lot of guys who is it relatively the same method that they construct? Or you tell me about those different methods that you've seen in your career, Coach.
Well, I mean, it really comes, each person's got to be their own personality and the way that they use their strengths and how they could touch kids and motivate them and get them to play together. That's the main thing. I never really coached for Bill Snyder or with him, but when I was at Murray State, we were getting a lot of junior college kids, and it was a tough place to coach. And I looked around the country and who was doing the best job in the country and winning. But Bill Snyder was at Kansas State. I don't know how many of you followed Kansas State when he was there, but they were a top 15 team for a long time. The way he coached and the way he did things there was incredible. And then I was lucky enough when I came to Philadelphia, Darren Sproles was our running back and punt returner. And to listen to him talk about what Coach Snyder meant to him and how he impacted his life, it sounded like the same thing that Coach Saban does. It's not hard to find people that are successful in what they're doing, because they all do similar. They hold you to a standard, and they make you become not only a better person, a better player, and your life is better because you're around it. But you learn how to work and you learn how to live in the right things.
Give me your quintessential Nick Saban story, one that you feel comfortable sharing with us, Coach.
I mean, I don't know. There were so many of them. Somebody was talking today about we were getting ready to play Notre Dame, and he called on Christmas Day, and we were supposed to be off, and he brought us in there, and I would say this: he would bring you in a lot of times, and you were like, man, why are we going in there? And then after you were in there and you were there for an hour or two, and he would let you go back to what you were doing, you'd always say, you know what, that needed to be done. If we would have let that slide, we probably wouldn't be as good as we were. But there was one Christmas morning, we all came in there, and we were getting ready to play Notre Dame for the national championship in Miami, and we went through the practice film, and after the practice film was over, he kind of looked up and he smiled and he said, "Merry Christmas." It was kind of nice to just see him smile at that point in time. We were able to go back to our families, and then it was really a fun bowl game because Notre Dame didn't have a chance.
No,
no,
that's the kind of game I like to watch. Everybody says they like these close games. I don't like close games. I like the ones where in the fourth quarter you're not even really watching much. You just kind of hoping they put the second string quarterback in. Those are my favorite games.
That game was over when we came out of the locker room. They were waiting for us to come out, and we went by them, and you could see the look in Notre Dame's eyes. They were like, it was like playing your. I mean, they were a little bit worried about playing us.
Yeah, Coach, the linebacker, Catfish. What's his name?
It was Mateo.
Yeah, he talks about that.
Yeah, they were. It was.
He talks about he looked around at his guys, and they're all wide eyed. They were scared to death when DJ Fluckner came out with his shirt up, they were showing their bellies and going whoop 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 whoop. Yeah,
DJ was one big human being.
Yes, he was.
I think he's living in Hawaii right now. Of all places, how DJ Fluker in Hawaii.
Wow.
I might need to fly over there and go visit him.
That cat lived in this car after Katrina.
He had a horrible life. His life and to become what he's become, I'm so proud of him. And he had a long career in this league too.
Yeah, and Shaq used to give him shoes. I think what was his size shoes he wore? 24 or something, 22.
They were like cruise boats.
Yeah.
Well, fast forward into today's game. Do you like the kickoff, Coach? Do you like this new kickoff in the NFL?
I mean, it don't matter if I like it or not. That's what we're dealing with. But in my opinion, nobody's talked about this all spring. But they had a rule change where they changed it to where if it goes into the end zone, it's going to come out to the 35. What is going to happen this year? There's going to be more kickoff returns and more special team plays than there's probably been in the last 20 years. Nobody will try to kick the ball into the end zone. They will try to make you return every kick, and that hasn't happened. I can't remember, and I've been coaching special teams for a long time. I can't remember the last time we did that. I know as a special team coach, when we played a good returner, we would kick it out of the back of the end zone. You get the ball to 20. Now it's a 35. You're probably going to take your chances, and it's gonna change the game a little bit for sure for this year. And it seems like they kind of alter it along the way. So we'll see what happens. I like it because I'm a special team coach, so there's more plays to coach. But it's also going to be more plays that we have a chance to mess up on. So
yeah,
live in the world of being positive, I guess.
When you're special teams coach and return it for a touchdown, where do you go hide? Don't you have to go hide?
Well, the first thing is the camera goes right on your face. So and I'm Italian and my language ain't too good. So it's like, I don't need my mother. So that's a hard thing to do.
Wow. So in terms of maybe, does it change at all, maybe practice-wise, of what you want to teach your guys specifically for a kickoff with that rule change, Coach?
In my opinion, the way it is now, it's kind of like a play from scrimmage. It's like a zone running play. We felt, and maybe we're wrong, I don't think we are, from last year. If you had a small, nifty guy that could make plays in space, that guy wasn't quite as productive as if you had a running back that could hit a lane, and it's kind of like running a zone and find the seam and push the pile a little bit. So it's changed a little bit with all of that.
Well, you're going to get to know your entire schedule coming up tomorrow, but out of the gate with the Cowboys, I mean, that's intriguing. You get a divisional matchup right out of the gate, Coach.
Well, and you know, obviously being at Alabama and being on both sides of the Alabama-Auburn thing and knowing what that rivalry is. Now being in Philadelphia, there is a huge rivalry, the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm going to tell you this, when we had our parade for the Super Bowl, and there were signs up all over, I would say 2/3 of them were all about us winning the Super Bowl, and 1/3 of them were getting after Dallas. This town absolutely dislikes Dallas, so it'll be something on September 4th when we open the season here, and they're going to have a good team. I mean, Dak Prescott's he's an underrated player. He's a good player. They got the Pickens kid, who's an Hoover kid, who's now over there with CeeDee Lamb, and they've always been good. And Micah Parsons is as good a defensive player there is in the league. So we'll have our hands full on. And when you play rivalry games, you know how those games are. Anything could happen.
Who would you say is the best athlete on Philadelphia's team?
You're going to talk like you're talking. Which child do you like the best?
Well, it's not even close.
It ain't.
But I'm going to tell you.
Huh?
I like all the grandchildren. I don't like the childs anymore.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I told my kids, I said, I didn't even like you till you're 5. I don't need no grandkids. And I walked my oldest daughter down the aisle. I walked my second, Donald Craig. We have a child. They name it after me, Michael Joe. I FaceTime him every day. If I would have known this, man, I love my grandkids. They're way better than what I.
There's no question. I just put up with them because they have to put them to bed at night.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, Coach, one guy who's easy to root for is Jalen Hurts. And tell me about what you see on a day-to-day basis out of Jalen Hurts, Coach.
Jalen's all business, and Jalen only cares about one thing, and he coaches talk. He keeps the main thing, and that is winning. He really don't care what it looks like, if he has to throw it or if he has to run it or whatever it takes. All he really wants to do is win. And NFL quarterbacks have a tough job. They're under the microscope every play they make, every time they're out in public, and he carries himself in a very, very proper manner. And I've always been proud of him, but the way he's handled things and what he's done here has really been remarkable. And then people don't know this. Ever since he was in college, every year from college till now, and including this year, he's had to have a new offensive coordinator every year, and that's hard to do it year after year and deal with different people. And
that's crazy.
Over that. And
I didn't know that.
Very proud of him.
That's pretty wild to kind of wrap my head around.
You know, Coach, I tell people that Tua coming to Alabama and him going through all that and watching him get better that year, that made him a better player, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, it was a credit to him, the type of person that he is, the way he handled that. And I love Tua too. And I mean, I love all Mac Jones. Every one of those. A.J. McCarron was wonderful. I thought A.J. never really got to do that. Everybody thought that the players we had when A.J. was there, they weren't the same kind of offensive players we had when I came back the second time. And we had my running back room, when I coached running backs, my starter was Damian Harris, who started for New England. Then I had Josh Jacobs was my backup. Then my third was Najee Harris, who started for Pittsburgh. Brian Robinson, who we have to play twice a year now at Washington, is a pain in my neck because he gets after us. And the last one was Jerome Ford, who plays for Cleveland. Jeez. But we didn't have those kind of players for AJ when he was there. And I don't think he got all the credit he should have got either. But all those kids, all those quarterbacks were really, really good players.
So in terms of the calendar, when does it crank up hot and heavy for you, Coach? It doesn't feel like there's an off season at all in the National Football League.
Well, that's the one good thing about the National Football. You do get some time off in the summer. We're right now in what I guess what would be termed as spring practice. We call it OTAs. We will finish the second week in June, and then we got to be back. We won't have to be back until July 18th. July 18th, they're going to give us our Super Bowl rings, and then we're going to throw those away turn the page and see if we could win another one. So that's what's ahead of us.
Yeah.
It's so hard to repeat.
How many rings he got,
Yeah,
Coach?
he has 5, right? Or 6.
I got 3 national championship rings and now 1 Super Bowl ring. So there's 4.
And you got Ohio
kinda-
Valley championship ring, right?
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
I'm talking about not league championships. I'm talking about here's what was cool. The other day we went to the White House, and I'm just telling you, I'm not a political person, so I'm not on really any side of that thing. But to wake up in the morning and say I'm invited to go to the White House, I mean, it just makes you want to cry and you want to go there. And somebody asked me on the way down there, "Have you been to the White House before?" I said, "Yeah, this is my 4th time." I mean, how many people get to go to the White House 4 times? I mean, God has been so good to me, and I really don't deserve it. I don't know why he's been that way, but it's been an honor every time to be able to go there and be a part of it.
I honestly, Coach, the only thing that I have in my head is that scene in Forrest Gump of, I get to go to the White House again.
I mean, and then when you get there, and I'm going to say this too, is when we went with Coach Saban, he would always do it so you had an educational purpose to it. So we'd go see the monuments, we'd go to Smithsonian, but the one I like the best, and we did it this year here with the Eagles, and it's the second time I did it. We went to Arlington National Cemetery.
Wow!
And when you hear taps played when they're changing the guard on the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, if you don't cry, there's something wrong with you. I mean, and all those people that have gave their lives for us to be here today, it's a very touching and a very moving place to be. So it was an incredible day for us again to be able to go to the White House.
Did you bump into Tommy Tuberville there in DC?
He said, now, I mean, again, I don't know. He said he was in Congress there. He had some important voting he needed to do. I hope he was voting the right way. So he was over there.
Could you tell he would be a senator one day, even coaching under him?
Nobody ever gets that.
Again, I'm not political, so I don't know why. First off, my mother-in-law says, "Why would you ever want to coach?" I don't know why you'd ever want to be a politician. There's no way you could win on that. But I'm for him now. I mean, I know him. I got his number. I could call him if I got an issue. There's somebody I could call. So I'm all for Tommy, and he's been nothing but good to me.
Coach, I can't thank you enough for the time and the visit, and really appreciate the time here this evening, Coach.
Coach, I really appreciate you coming on. It's fun.
Steve and Wes, thank you so much. And I didn't really realize all the Huntsville kids we had and North Alabama kids. Maybe one day you all come up here to Philadelphia. We got a nice little mafia Italian place for you to eat. It's some good food. We could have a good time.
I'm all into that.
Hey, make sure you tell Woody McCorvey thank you, because he was a big part of my life. He's always been in my life, and he's helped me a bunch. So Woody, there ain't nobody like Woody. He's the best in the world. Make sure you tell him.
I call him the Godfather of football.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Well, try to steer clear of John Kincaid as best you can there in Philadelphia, sir. So,
all right, thank you.
Appreciate the time.
We didn't even talk about Tony Romo.
I know we didn't even get to talk about Tony Romo.
We'll have to have him on again.
Yes, we will. I hope we can get him back on. We'll have to do it during his quote unquote downtime, because once the season goes,
yes, they're a little busy.
Done.
Yes,
done.
Of course, Wes, you asked if he was in witness protection.
Yes.
He couldn't tell you. Right?
Do I?
He couldn't tell you.
That's right.
He knows his backstory very well from there.
That's right.
Colorado.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun right there with Coach Joe Pannunzio, who is the assistant special teams coach there for the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. Really good Reed Blankenship story right there as well. And it's kind of ties in a little bit to an award show that's coming up with our 3rd annual Rocket City Award Show presented by Woody Anderson Ford. And by the way, we'll be at Woody Anderson Ford coming up tomorrow.
We had a really good staff meeting with that today, trying to figure out, the toughest part of this job is figuring out, trying to figure out who wins, because there's so many good candidates right here in North Carolina.
We just kind of chronicled it a little bit right there with Coach Pannunzio.
Yeah.
Of the amount of talent that's in the National Football League.
Yeah.
And it's a really cool to get to talk to Coach Pannunzio. Let's go ahead and take our first time out. We'll open it up to your phone calls on the other side as Woody McCorvey joins us at the top of the hour, 256-576-4977.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Ford Motor Company. From America, for America. Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford with a real quick quiz. Out of all the manufacturers, do you know which auto company employs the most hourly workers in America? Ford. Do you know which company assembles the most vehicles in this country? Ford. That's not just a coincidence. It's a commitment. A 120-year-old commitment to build in America for America. And during this unprecedented moment in automotive history, you stand to benefit big time. Woody Anderson Ford is now offering employee pricing. You pay what we pay. We've got over 190 F-150s for you to choose from with generous finance rates and the best deals of the year on America's best-selling truck for 48 years in a row. Employee pricing can save you thousands off MSRP, and with over 600 Fords for you to choose from, there's a good chance you'll find just exactly what you're looking for. This offer ends May 31st, so hurry in. Woody Anderson Ford.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it, or we can replace it.
But you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
I'm here with Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. With the temperatures going up and temperatures going down right now, now is a good time to get your heating and air system looked at. Thomas, when somebody calls, you guys answer.
That's right. The phones are staffed by us. They're manned 24/7. We're ready to come out and take care of you that day.
How do they give you guys a call?
You give us a call at 256-503-4490.
And you can find you guys on the World Wide Web at
talenthvac.com.
And now is a good time to do this because you guys are offering a special deal.
That's right. We're doing $49 tune-ups this spring. We're also doing free second opinions. We offer that year-round. Somebody comes out, they say you got a bad compressor, leaking refrigerant. Give us a call, see if we can save you some money.
Thomas from Talent Heating and Air. Thomas, one more time, that phone number.
256-503-4490. AL certain number 21014.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
We are walking you up to Braves baseball. Braves, 1 game under 500, and it feels like for the 20th time already, but we'll see whether or not the Braves can climb up to 500. We will be joining it in progress as Woody McCorvey going to join us at the top of the hour. Really good stuff there from Joe Pannunzio. Boy, I hope we can get him back on because we did not even get to the Tony Romo stuff. Yeah. He
Tony
is
Romo,
tied with Tony Romo.
It was his quarterback when he was at, that's why they won the
Eastern
conference.
Illinois.
No, it was, what was it?
The Eastern Illinois. Yeah. It was a win over Eastern Illinois.
He was at, Murray State?
Yeah. Yeah. So there's that as well.
You had me confused there.
Yeah. 256-576-4977, the telephone number. ESPN, they had a lot of press releases today. Most notably, they are now offering direct-to-consumer bundle pricing. If you want to, I mean, I'm starting to think, me being the dinosaur, keeping DirecTV, and yes, I still have the dish right outside the house, still have access to all the streams. I've got Max because I've got Showtime. And I mean, it's all of a sudden these prices for everything starting to add up a little bit, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
So, I mean,
we're a long way away from Skinamax with the push button thing on the top of the TV.
Yeah.
And trying to, that's why my vision's bad, just from looking at all the swirly lines for all those years.
So my uncle back in the day had a satellite dish in his backyard. He had a 44-acre farm in Troutman, North Carolina.
Yeah.
And the channels that you are speaking of,
right?
You could get, and
Again, that's why my vision is so bad.
That is, yes. But
we're going to call it astigmatism.
Yeah. ESPN are now offering direct-to-consumer bundle pricing, but they also revealed some kickoff times today for college football. Let's see here. What do folks might care about? How about Saturday, August 23rd? That's week 0 for those of you scoring at home. Kansas State taking on Iowa State. That's going to be high noon or 11 a.m. Central Time on ESPN. Georgia Tech and Colorado on Friday, August the 29th will be a 7 o'clock kickoff. That's a Friday night kickoff between Georgia Tech and Colorado. That's in Boulder, 7 o'clock Central Time on ESPN. Saturday, August the 30th, Syracuse and Tennessee is going to kick at 11 a.m. Central Time on ABC. That'll be followed by Alabama and Florida State. You can hear the game right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. 2:30 will be the kick time for the Crimson Tide and the Seminoles on ABC. LSU at Clemson is also on ABC with a 6:30 kick between the Tigers and the Tigers.
These are on Saturday?
These are all on Saturday, August the 30th.
Because they'll have games every day, right?
It's
including Monday, right?
One of your televisions will be locked on ABC. I guess that's Way 31 here locally. I mean, at least for me, from 11 a.m. to probably 11 p.m.
I don't know who I'm going to pull for the LSU Clemson. I usually pull for LSU, but
yeah, you want me to tell Woody? I mean,
no.
Well,
I mean, no. I'm just he wouldn't care who I pull for. I mean, I'm pulling for Woody everywhere, but I just want to watch. What's the show? Whiskey and Wine.
You just want to watch.
They lose, yeah.
Whiskey. Okay, because they have not. LSU has not won game 1 since 2019.
Yeah, it's been. Yeah,
that was a pretty special year, but it's been a while.
Yes, they've lost 5 in a row.
Virginia Tech and South Carolina is Sunday, August the 31st. That's 2:30 kick on ESPN. Notre Dame at Miami is also Sunday, August the 31st. That's a 6:30 kick on ABC between the Fighting Irish and the U. And then Monday, September 1st, Labor Day, we'll have TCU and North Carolina, the Tar Heels. We'll see whether or not she'll show up for the game. You know who I'm talking about. 7 o'clock kickoff on ESPN there for that one between the Horned Frogs and the Tar Heels.
Well, they pretty much sound like North Carolina discounted that didn't.
Yeah, that really, whoever came out with that report was a false report.
Yes.
Thank you, Jordy Armin. 256-576-4977 is the telephone number. We occasionally get text messages from our morning show friend who will be on with us tomorrow at Woody Anderson Ford. That is one Drew DeArmond. So, yes.
If you're interested at all and want to circle back to the Baseball Hall of Fame, one of the things I was doing my research.
That's exactly where I was about to go.
Well, there you go. I see, clicking.
There you go.
I don't know if you guys remember from the late 80s, the movie 8 Men Out.
That's right. Great movie.
Yes.
Great movie.
Joe Jackson. Also, it was Eddie Sacote Happy Fells.
Seacott.
Excuse me. Happy Fells, Chick Gandil, Fred McMillan, Swede Reisberg, Buck Weaver, Lefty Williams.
Mm-hmm.
They were all mad at Charlie Comiskey for not paying. Comiskey was I believe the term is skinflint.
Tightwad.
Yeah, and so they were upset. So they
felt like they were not earning their worth.
Right. So they cooked. Jackson claimed that he didn't know anything about it, so they're already in it.
Yeah.
It was one party agreed to accepting $5,000, but then recanted that later. But got to realize this is pre-players union, and also during the World Series there, that was a best of 9 back in that time.
That's right.
And Jackson, for what he did, I mean, he hit like 375, like 12 of 35 in those games, and so he really wasn't holding back to make good on that.
It is a great movie.
Yeah. If I haven't looked to see what platform it's on, but look
So
for
basically,
8 Men Out from 1988.
He batted 375 in the series, and they said he was on the tape.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was his normal?
I don't know. But if that's holding back, dang.
It really is. It's one of the more. Charlie Sheen was in
so
that
I haven't
movie.
seen this, but just so, what was the premise of the movie? That they did do it?
That they basically, that's what called them the Black Sox. That
Because
they
they
tanked.
threw the game.
They tank it for the Reds.
Yeah. Yep.
And they did do that.
Well, that's what they allege.
Well, there was 2 players in particular that basically got caught. Seacott in particular, the pitcher was more or less caught red-handed.
Yeah.
So
he wanted to earn more money, and the way to do it was through the bookies,
right?
And not. This is pre-NIL, I guess.
Sound like they started NIL. Maybe
yeah. The only place I'm seeing that movie playing is on Tubi. Let's check out.
It's a great movie.
So if you got somewhere going to look around, 8 Men Out from 1988.
It's
got a lot of big names in it.
It really does. Great movie, and I have not seen it in a while, but it's John Cusack. He is great in that movie.
John Mahoney from Frasier and others.
That's right. Yeah, Mahoney plays the manager, and has
Studs Terkel. Man,
Christopher Lloyd, who he's been in everything.
Yeah, he has,
including playing Doc in all the Back to the Future movies.
He was in something I was watching over the
Taxi.
weekend.
He was also in Taxi.
He was pretty mean with a shotgun. I'm trying to remember what movie that was.
But
anyway,
if there is one sports story that I have heard my entire sports talk life, it's been about Pete Rose. And I've had the occasion.
Well, he's just wasn't a very good guy.
Bump into Pete, and
me as well. He was just not a very nice guy. I mean, I didn't even say anything. I was just listening, watching him, how he interacted with everybody.
Yeah.
It was awful.
There was some sort of
I
thing.
think his alcohol was involved, I believe.
There was something where he was in Huntsville, and
I believe it.
I want to say it's back when the Stars were still here, and there was something. And I just remember that
I was not here for that.
All of my compatriots that went to interview him were just unimpressed that for someone who wanted here to be on and get his message out, just really didn't treat people well.
The 99 All-Star game was in Atlanta, and that's when they did the All-Century team. And it was one of the bigger events that I had the good fortune to participate in. And listen, I am not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I fully admit that. But you could there was a strong cologne surrounding.
Well,
Pete Rose.
He drank a lot.
Like a 94 proof cologne.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, but
a little bit.
It was the combination. Not that people that drink are bad.
Oh, no.
It was his aura that he had. He had bad juju.
Yeah,
he did. He had bad juju.
Well, it's anything that keeps you from being your best.
Yeah, I mean, he was a hell of a baseball player and maybe one of the best players of all time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he won everywhere he went. He was the missing piece for Phillies. It just, and no one is even remotely close to his hitting record. So
we would not have had the big red machine without him.
No, absolutely not. Major League Baseball sent out a memo today from Commissioner Rob Manfred issuing a policy regarding the status of individuals who have passed away while on the permanently ineligible list. The issue has been formally addressed by Major League Baseball, but the application was filed by the family of Pete Rose as it made incumbent upon the office of the commissioner to reach a policy decision on this unprecedented issue in the modern era, as Mr. Rose is the first person banned after the tenure of Commissioner Kennesaw Mountain Landis to die while still being on the ineligible list. Commissioner Manfred has concluded that MLB policy shall be permitted, that ineligibility ends upon the passing of the disciplined individual. And they did associate this video clip with Bart Giamatti being asked, this is the former commissioner, about Pete Rose's eligibility status in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I'm glad I wondered when I'd be asked about the Hall of Fame. Let me say this. This episode has been about taking responsibility for one's own acts. I know I need not point out to the baseball writers of America that it is their responsibility who decides who goes into the Hall of Fame. It is not mine. You have the authority and you have the responsibility, and you will make your own individual judgments, and when they are tallied by Mr. Lang, that will be it. I have never, as league president or commissioner, and would never, in this or any other instance, express an opinion about the eligibility, viability, or appropriateness of any candidate for the Hall of Fame. It is entirely in your, now you have a responsibility, which I, of course, as a devoted reader of all of you, will look forward to listening and watching your debates on the relationship of life to art, which you will all have to work out for yourselves.
That was Bart Giamatti back in 1989 on the issue of whether or not Pete Rose in baseball's Hall of Fame. And right now, MLB Network is doing a big special on this heading into this evening's games. But I think it's pretty clear. Well, we may not see Pete make it next year in 26, maybe. I feel like but who knows what baseball writers think. He will eventually get in, but I think this is the alleyway to have a conversation about steroids and those players that got caught that are not in baseball's Hall of Fame. Yeah, I'm talking about Barry Bonds, and I'm talking about all those bunch that will indeed, this will be the pathway to start that conversation of getting players into the Baseball Hall of Fame. That Joe Jackson will be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Pete Rose will be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds will be in the Baseball Hall of Fame, and so on and so forth. And I've got no problem with it. I really don't. If you cannot tell the story of your said sport without mentioning said name, you deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Now, the placard doesn't have to be all roses, pardon the pun there, but I mean, say what he did and what he didn't do.
Yeah, go list why he's historically.
Yeah, why did it take Pete Rose so long to get it? Well, Pete had an opportunity to own up to what he did from what
he lied about it.
And then, yeah. So don't lie. So anyway,
was right.
We do need to take our final timeout. That is probably the news of the day right there in Major League Baseball. Woody McCorvey going to join us at the top of the hour. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Coming up on Saturday, May 17th, it's the Colts Mayday Bass Tournament out of Joe Wheeler State Park to benefit the Clements High School Booster Club. The Colts Booster Association exists to make sure that the athletes at Clements High have what they need to perform at their best. And this is a great, fun way to support the program. Blast-off is at Safe Flight with the weigh-in at 2. An entry fee is just $100 per boat. The guaranteed payout for first place is $1,500 with a side pot for big fish as well. Learn more at coltsboosterassociation.org. Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games, and if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job.
Licensed in all states will work as before. See website for detail.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman, staying on the rather warm end of the spectrum as we head into the overnight. Temperatures only dropping into the lower 60s. A partly sunny sky Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures climbing consistently into the lower mid-80s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible, but it also looks like the vast majority of us are going to spend Wednesday afternoon dry, only dropping into the mid-60s as we head into the overnight. Much the same for your Thursday. A partly sunny sky, a couple of isolated, widely scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to be possible. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Winding down hour number one. So this scene from 8 Men Out, whoever is the actor that played Kennesaw Mountain Landis, the commissioner, who was brought on to be commissioner because of this scandal in Major League Baseball. I mean, it's a great scene from 8 Men Out.
Regardless of the verdict of juries, no player who throws a ball game No player who undertakes or promises to throw a game. No player who sits in conference with a bunch of crooked players and gamblers where the ways and means of throwing a ball game are discussed and does not promptly tell his club about it will ever play professional baseball again.
That is the press conference that kind of, and in the background, they're going to the end because this is after, obviously, the World Series is done. Reds win it. I believe it was in 9 games. Because there was some seesawing back and forth of they would throw it, but they wouldn't throw it. They would throw it, but they wouldn't throw it. And ultimately, Seacott, I think, hitting a batter was kind of the tell to one of the major bettors on whether or not you're going to do this for real or not. And it's a great movie. It is a fantastic movie. In fact, I'm kind of probably jonesing to watch it tonight more than anything. But coming up on the other side, we will dive in to the Clemson Tigers. And boy, if there is a team that is winning the offseason right now, it's the listen, I'm with you. I understand. But Dabo took a lot of bad press. What, about 3 years ago?
Continuously.
Of just that this is the way I'm doing it, and this is the way I'm doing it, and it feels like it's paying off.
I don't know if it's paid off because he hadn't been in the last year.
Made it to the
playoff. Like anything else, Steve. He lost all his coaches. He lost he did.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys were there for a long time. They left.
How long has Venables been at Oklahoma?
And then everything changed. The way you do business has changed in college football. And he's got around to finding where it works for him again. And
really interested to hear Woody McCorvey's take on because he has been there forever there in Clemson.
Well,
with Dabo.
As soon as Dabo was hired, he brought Woody. Woody was his coach at Alabama. He was a wide receivers coach. Woody's was the offensive coordinator at Mississippi State when Coach Croom was there. He was the wide receivers coach at Alabama, and actually started his career, I believe. I know he was here at Alabama A&M.
That's right.
He's the godfather of college football. If I've called him for help several times, and every time he is a true gentleman, and I don't think gets enough credit for all he's done for football.
Dabo has referred to Coach McCorvey as his national security advisor there for Clemson football. Woody McCorvey joins us next. We'll be right back.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Is Sports Center.
I'm Nick DeLuca. NBA playoffs continue tonight in Cleveland. The Cavs trying to avoid elimination against the Pacers. Indiana seeking a second straight trip to the conference final for the first time since 2013-2014. They're 9-0 all time when leading a series 3-1. Donovan Mitchell, a game-time decision for the Cavs after re-aggravating his ankle injury in the blowout loss in Game 4. He's missed 3 career playoff games while in Utah. Jazz lost all 3. The Cavs minus 8.5 on ESPN Bet. Tonight, Celtics are also down 3-1 to the Knicks. They're more worried about Jason Tatum, Boston star, undergoing surgery on a ruptured Achilles that he suffered in last night's game. Tatum done for the rest of the playoffs. Team did not put a timeline on his potential return. His 42-point game was the 5th time in his career he's had 40-plus in a postseason game, tying him with Hall of Famers Larry Bird and John Havlicek for the most in the storied history of the Celtics. In baseball, Commissioner Rob Manfred removed Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson and other deceased players from Major League Baseball's permanently ineligible list. Both are now eligible for Hall of Fame consideration after long being banned for connections to gambling. Manfred ruled that MLB's punishment of individuals should end upon their deaths. Jackson and Rose would be eligible for the Hall of Fame for the first time in the class of 2028. Rose, Major League Baseball's career leader in hits, games played, at-bats, and singles.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Wednesday, do the Celtics and Warriors have enough to extend their series, or is it time for them to look ahead to the 2025 season? It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Hour number 2 here on a Tuesday, along with Wes Neighbors. Steve Moulton back here with you. Boy, had a fantastic conversation out of the gate with Joe Pannunzio with the Philadelphia Eagles. He wanted to pass along a hello to our next guest. And on the subject of rings, Coach Woody McCorvey, who is how did Dabo put it, his national security advisor there for the Clemson program there, is kind enough to join us. How are you, Coach?
I'm doing good. How are you all?
Doing real well. It's always fun to talk with you in the off season, and boy, it's an exciting time there in Clemson, Coach.
Yes, it is. School, second semester just in it. We had a lot of kids that left and went over to Italy. We got our player development program here. They do a very good job. Last year, they took those kids down to South Africa. This year, they went to Italy. Just got back over the weekend. They had a fantastic time, and they're back now, getting ready for the first session of summer school and the starting of the off-season program for the summer with our strength coaches.
You didn't go to Italy with them?
No, I'd rather be over there on the Tom Bigby River.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, there's many directions I want to go into, but right out of the gate, I wanted the passing of Brother Oliver has affected a lot of us here in the state, and I really wanted to start with your thoughts on Coach Oliver, Coach.
Very good man, had a profound effect on my career. As Wes knows, his dad and brother were very close from being teammates there at Alabama. Brother came here from the Memphis Showboats when I was here the first time on Danny Ford's staff, and we spent 4 years here together. And when Coach Stallings got the job at Alabama, he brought Brother on as the defensive coordinator. And I didn't know Coach Stallings. And Brother recommended me, And that's how I ended up, coming down to Alabama. He and I drove from here on a Sunday afternoon down to Tuscaloosa. And Coach Stallings offered me the job that Monday. And I came back here and went back and started to work. But, he and I spent a lot of time together, studying football, talking football, me being the receiver coach and he coaching the secondary. I learned a lot from him very early. And no doubt in my mind, all the years that I've been in it, he's the best defense coordinator I've been around.
Brother had a way to get you to check to where he wanted you, then he had you, especially on third down. And, that's to me what a great defensive coordinator does is he takes first downs away from you, gets his guys off the field. And nobody was better at it than Brother. You see Kirby does a good job with it as well of getting you to check out of that. And I'm certain the other guys that do it. But Brother was a master at it.
When you start talking about disguising coverages years ago, I mean, he was one of the first ones that was able to do that. His players always really played well. He really coached them well. And a lot of times when it came to tendencies and all of that, I mean, he had them way ahead of where most people were. And I'm not going to say the team, but when I was in the press box with him when we first got there, we were playing a very important game there at Alabama. And I'm sitting next to him while the defense was on the field. And it was amazing. I mean, he would call the defense. And then right after that, he called exactly what play they was getting ready to run. And that was amazing to me. And he would get in there early in the morning at 4:30. He had his way of doing things, the way he broke down film and would take the notes and all. But the biggest thing, he was able to apply it to his players. And then on Saturdays, they went out and performed it.
And that's what counts when you play that on Saturday, what they do. And you go to the 92 team and what they did to Miami and the way his players, I mean, we had George Teague on last week. Just the way they played in that game was unbelievable. Well, the way the whole team played, but especially in the secondary and how they played in that game, to me, is what Brother was all about.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, to do some of the things that we did early on in the game and having the kind of impact that we had on Gino Torretta, it put a lot of stress on those guys back there in the secondary because it was a lot of man-to-man coverage and they had to adjust to motions and shifts and all. And he knew going into that game that those guys that he was coaching on the back end were going to be able to handle it. And he knew that up front that the guys that we had was going to be able to generate some pass rush. But really, you go back and you look at it, it was only 3 defensive linemen on the field. And so mostly everybody on the field after that were linebacker-type guys, secondary-type guys. And they really, really performed well that night down in New Orleans.
Coach, we had the good fortune of having Brother Oliver on several times on this program. Very opinionated, very opinionated. Was he as opinionated inside the coach's room?
I would say he was very confident. He was a very confident coach. That was the thing that when he came here back in '84, and we won the ACC championship in '86, '87, and '88. He was a big part, and we had some talented players in the secondary, particularly Donnell Wolford, who was a first-round draft pick, and Jerome Henderson, that's still coaching now in the NFL. He had a profound effect on those guys. And the biggest thing, he came in and he proved that he had the knowledge. He was very confident about what he wanted to do. Coach Ford gave him the opportunity to run the defense the way that he wanted it. And, he sent it down through the coaches, down to the players. And if you go back and you look at some of the guys that was on that defense, I mean, we had Chester McLaughlin, we had LeVon Kirkland, Ashley Shepard. I mean, a bunch of those guys. James Trapp was a corner. Donnell Wolfen and all those guys that played. And but he was very confident about his knowledge of the game and how he wanted to teach it and coach it. And he demanded it on the field every day that we went out to practice.
Well, another confident coach is a guy you're working with right there in Dabo Swinney. And as in this ever-changing world that we're in right now, Coach, Dabo drew a line in the cement of more or less, this is the way I'm doing it. This is the way I'm going to run this program. And I can remember, I think it was a couple of years ago, Coach. I want to say it was like 22 or 23. All of these so-called experts out there saying, well, Dabo's not going to last too much longer. And sure enough, look at it now, Coach. Another playoff performance last year, another ACC title. It is really remarkable to see Dabo standing firm on his ground and maintaining the success there at Clemson, Coach.
Well, he still is the way that he was the first time that I met him when he was a player for me there at Alabama. And, when he came to meetings every day, he was very detailed about what he was doing. When we were presenting things that we were going to do that day in practice, he would always have it down. When you went on the field to practice, you always saw the effort that he gave. He always got your attention in that way. And early on, we lost some receivers to injuries and all. Prince Wembley and Craig Sanderson. And, I was just looking for somebody. I just wanted somebody to do the job. I wasn't interested in 5 stars, 4 stars, and all of that. I just wanted somebody to do the job. And he had impressed me enough that I wanted to give him an opportunity. And when he got that opportunity, he made the most of it. And there's a quote by a former basketball coach at Winston-Salem State. And the quote that he made to his team before they won a national championship was, opportunity at each and every door knocks, but opportunity has never opened a lock. You have to open the door. And that's what Dabo did. And when he got the opportunity here from Terry Don Phillips, he made the most of it. And, he's a similar good staff early on while he was here. He knew the type of players that he wanted to recruit. And, he talked about it constantly. When he goes on the field every day, he demands excellence and he wants to get it out of them. And our football teams here have played hard. And, he knows what built this program and he's not going to deviate away from it. And that's the good thing about it. A lot of people say we talking about the portal and all. Yes, I mean, you got times that you need to use it, and we did that this year in 3 situations. And all of those kids have come in here this spring and done a fantastic job for us. But, loyalty is important too. Loyalty is important. And he's been loyal to the kids that have come in this program that we've recruited out of high school. And a lot of people today are not giving high school kids opportunities. But in this program here, I mean, he's doing that. And that's your foundation. And then if you're missing some spots where you need to go out and address the portal, that's what you need to do. And that's what he's been able to do, particularly this year. He's never been opposed to using it. But then yet still he wants to stay loyal to his kids in the locker room.
And he stays loyal to his former players as well. I hear you have a new hype coach that called me in tears when y'all hired him, and that was the guy you just mentioned, Prince Wembley. How's it to be back around your hype coach there?
Well, you know, he when we got there in '90, Prince, he was really hyped. You know, before we got in there with Coach Curry, you know, he had got a few penalties and all of that. And so one of the things that I had to do, I had to get his attention. You know, I said, hey, look, we need to channel all that energy into your play. You know, when that football snaps, I want that same type of energy. Let's harness that. And let's make you the best football player that you can be. You know, let your performance on the field show everybody the type of player you are and what you can do. And if you do that, you don't have to, you know, after play is over, get up and make sure everybody know who you are. And it's good to be back around here.
Yeah, I love it.
You know, and that group that I had in that room, he and Kevin Lee and David Palmer came along later, Steve Busky and all that group. You know, they were very close. And being here at Clemson, it's amazing to see a bunch of them on certain game days. They all come here and to watch us play, and it's good to be back around Prince again.
Oh, no doubt. So, you know, Prince came up here before he went to the USFL and played on a team that they were undefeated, but their paychecks never got cashed. And he ended up living with me for a while and was helping me with my kids. And he's still very, very close with Wesley and Connor and my daughter Anna Lakin. And you know, I love him. I didn't like him before you got there very much.
He told me just recently. Well, matter of fact, it was Coach Ford, Dabo, Wham Ward, Mickey Kahn, Danny Pierman, myself. We all flew down to Meridian and then drove over to Livingston for brother service. And you know, during that trip, Prince was talking about your dad, and he was talking about those paychecks were coming in. He said your dad told him, he said, hey, look, if you go be right here, y'all not going to be right here lounging. You know, y'all got to go to work. He said he found him something to do.
There's no question. He was actually he was my nanny for 3 months, I think, before he went to the UCF. I'm not kidding. He was the nanny at my house. He was awesome. He was, he is a special person. And when you get to know him, he really is. And it's Prince Wembley we're talking about, who was a wide receiver on the 92 team. And
he's captain.
He's captain.
He's one of the captains.
One of the captains. Absolutely. And he's at Clemson now. And he you know, somebody I've kept in touch with through the years, and he's a special person. There's no doubt about that.
Coach, take me back to the ACC championship game. It was 14-0 before I could get settled in, and that thing turned on a dime in the fourth quarter until a 56-yard field goal is hit at the end of the game. Tell me your recollections and what you remember most about that ACC championship game against SMU.
Well, you know, we were excited about being in the game. You know, we had a couple seasons here. You know, we won 10 ball games, but it still weren't the standard that Dabo had set forth for this program. And going in the game, I mean, we started out and we're really playing and performing well. And knew SMU was a very explosive team, you know, a dynamic quarterback and some really good receivers. And all our defense was performing well because the offense, you know, our offense gave us some good field position and some points early. But one of the things that can kill you are your special teams. And on a couple of kickoffs, we mishandled some of the returns there and gave SMU field position. And they battled back and got into the game. Our defense was struggling at the time, that part of the season, the week before. Struggled against South Carolina, and then we struggled in that game. And then later on in the playoff game, we struggled. But we managed to give a guy named Adam Randall a chance because of the 2 miscues on kickoff returns. And he got in there and gave us a dynamic return. We had a good play, a pass play, got the ball on the ground, got a timeout. And, our kicker came in, did a fantastic job as a true freshman, Nolan Hooser. And he was able to nail the 56-yard field goal. And that's what it's all about.
How high did you jump, Coach?
Oh, you talking about being happy.
Yeah.
Because you got a chance to, and a great opportunity to get back and win another ACC championship, especially, coming off a loss with South Carolina the way we lost right at the end of the game. That was very special for our kids to be able to do that and to gain a berth back into the playoff again, the first 12-team playoff in the history of the series. And so that was very rewarding for everybody in the program.
It did make a whole lot of people happy in the state of Alabama, Coach. There was a lot of nervous folks right before that reveal happened on the 12 team, but you guys did your part. But it was a lot of anxious moments heading in to see whether or not SMU would make the cut or would not make the cut. And the debate was between SMU and Alabama, Coach.
No doubt. And, it's strange. I've never been in that room, but our AD that was here, that was at Miami now, he was on that committee. And, a lot of times back early, when we had an opportunity to be in it, so many times he had to recuse himself from the room. But he told me that during that time, there was some anxious moments in there. And you got to make the right decision. And no matter what decision you make, somebody's not going to like it. You had some South Carolina people, they didn't like it and all, but, the decision was made and, we all got to live with it. But the biggest thing for 12 Saturdays out of the year, we all got an opportunity to make a statement. And that's what's important, where it don't get down to those situations where the decision's going to have to be made in that room.
Well, and a lot of at least noise around outside the program. I don't know how much you're hearing it inside the program, Coach, but a lot of people are liking the Clemson Tigers to have a big season this year.
Well, it all goes back to, we finished fairly good, had a really good spring practice. Anytime you got 8 starters back on offense, 8 starters on defense, and some at critical positions, namely quarterback. We got a strong offensive line, we got a strong defensive line, pretty strong secondary and all. And so, yes, the old cliche, we expect to win, but yet and still, every week when we come back in August, we have to work to that. We have to work smart. We have to do the things that we need to do to be able to make us successful every Saturday. Dabo's done a very good job of, being able to do that, organize, get the staff together. We got a very good staff out on offense. The offensive staff is intact. This will be Garrett Riley's 3rd year, especially with the quarterback, Klubnik. Matt Lucas done an outstanding job with our offensive line. Tom Allen just came in from Penn State. I thought Dabo did a fantastic job being able to get him here. He was only there one season after spending some time at University of Indiana as the head coach. And so, it's a lot of, expectations out there. But one of the biggest things, and, the 3 national championship teams that I've been around and all the conference championship teams that I've been around, you got to stay healthy. You got to stay healthy during the course of the season. And one of the biggest things there is what you do in the off season. And the other thing, you better create some depth. And, we got some good backup guys in this program. And the other thing is I go back to loyalty and kids willing to work hard and a staff that's willing to put in the work and create a family type atmosphere to be able to put you where you want to be at the end of the season.
Well, and you got a big one right out of the gate, Coach, with LSU coming to town. Boy, I'm already excited to see a Saturday night in Death Valley right out of the gate, Coach.
No doubt. My whole career at Alabama, we always had some good games against LSU, in Tuscaloosa. But, I was very fortunate the time that I was there. We never lost in Baton Rouge the entire time. I mean, we had some great games down there. But the one I really remember was when I was a coordinator. And Sean Alexander had 291 yards rushing that night. I mean, that was unbelievable to be a part of that. But they come in here. We opening up with them, first ball game. A lot of time that's good because, kids are human and the staff is human. And when you're going up with somebody like that, you better be focused. You better be determined to do the things you need to do because coming out the gate, it's a very good football program, got a tremendous history. They got a very talented quarterback coming back in Nussmeier. Head coach that's been around, has won on every level. He's been here before when he was at Notre Dame. And so now you got the 2 Death Valleys, the Death Valley here, the Death Valley in Baton Rouge, and a national TV game that's going to be on that night, and everybody's going to be watching. So, we know what we have to do. We just got to get ready and get prepared to take on the challenge and be the best that we can be.
So, Woody, you've been doing this a long time. What do you think the difference now versus in '92? I mean, what's the difference as far as the game? How has it changed?
I think the passing game. You had a few offenses around back then, particularly Spurrier when he was at Florida, and when he went there in '90, he really opened up the SEC in terms of the passing game. And I think now most teams are really proficient throwing the football. I think that goes back to high school programs. It's a lot more wide open spread offenses, the zone read, RPOs, and all. When we all came along back early when I was here the first time, we were an eye option offense. A lot of teams were at that time still using the wishbone. But I just think the skill level of kids out on the perimeter in the secondary and even at receiver, you see a lot of proficient tight ends now playing the game, and it's evolved and gone on to the NFL. You think about the number of tight ends that's in the league. And these programs in college football are able to produce those guys. And it's a lot more explosive offenses now. And the defenses have had to adapt. And I just think the players are a lot more versed in the overall game. And when they come in from a knowledge standpoint, because of your video and everything. I mean, back then you had a film, and when I was at Alabama A&M, we used to have to go over to Decatur to get it processed, and it might take 5-6 hours before you can get it back. Now, when you come off the practice field, you got it. I mean, it's instant, and that's what these kids have adapted to, and it's just made the game so much better when it comes to knowledge and all of that. Strength programs are really, back early on, you might have had 2 strength coaches now, but you got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys, in those weight rooms to help these kids out. So I just think overall, with all the knowledge and everything, and the equipment is so much better. And naturally, I'm old school, but today, I mean, I just think the game has evolved, and it has made it better for all of us. Even though we're going through some tough times right now, but everybody's gonna be excited about that first week of football, and we got some things going on, but we're gonna work through it, and everything is gonna be all right. When we get all the right people in the room to make the adjustments and do what we need to do to keep the game strong.
Final question for me, Coach, is how has Dabo evolved as a head coach and what you have seen?
The biggest thing is the staff. When we first got here, it was a very small staff. But, as time moved on, when we have staff meeting now, we got over 65 people in the room.
Oh, excuse me?
When I first came here,
65?
Oh, no doubt, yeah. When I first came here, we might have 20. And that was it. But, as Alabama staff increased and other people around the country and all, that's what has happened. And they're not all coaches, but he wants everybody to be on the same page. So when we have a staff meeting, our trainer, our equipment guy, everybody that's involved in recruiting and all, do they stay in there the whole time? No. But it's certain things from an administrative standpoint that he wants to get over to everybody so we can all be on the same page. That's why we all in that room together. And then when it gets down to the football, the X's and O's, he tell everybody to leave, and only people that's left in there are the coaches. And so it takes a lot of organization to be able to do that and to come in every day and you got on paper what you want to relate to each specific group that's in there. He does a fantastic job with that. But that's the way he's always been. I mean, even as a player. And then when he was an assistant coach for us, and that's one of the biggest reasons Coach Darling saw that, and that's one of the biggest reasons he gave him an opportunity as a 26-year-old to be a position coach at Alabama.
One of the more impressive things, at least that I've come across, Coach, I don't know if you know this, Clemson is coming off of its 20th 10-win season in school history, 13th under Dabo Swinney. I mean, you mentioned the consistency. It is.
I wonder how many of those 10-win seasons came from Alabama coaches, or Alabama alumni.
It's been a bunch of them.
I
mean, going back to Frank Howard, Hootie Ingram, Danny Ford, Charlie Pale, and Dabo, and it's been a lot of assistant coaches here that played there. I mean, you go back to Mick Andrews. It's been a lot of those guys, Brother Oliver. It's been a lot of guys from Alabama through this program.
Coach, I cannot thank you enough for the time and the visit.
It's just great hearing your voice, Coach.
It really is. I know we usually sit down at the Senior Bowl back in the day, really cherish that time, we always appreciate the time you give us, Coach.
Well, I appreciate y'all asking me to come on, and a lot of my formative years was spent there in that state, from growing up down on the southern part of the state and having an opportunity to play at Alabama State and coaching at Alabama A&M and coaching at Alabama. And the state of Alabama has been very good to me in my career.
Well, have a safe summer, and we always look forward to our visits with you, Coach. Thank you so much.
You, and y'all do the same.
Thank you, Coach. That is Woody McCorvey. I mean,
he's the godfather of college football.
I forgot to ask him how many rings he has. But I mean, goodness gracious, quite a few. Rings were the theme today, from Coach Pannunzio to Coach McCorvey. Wow. Scoreboard update for you. Top of the second, the Nationals lead it over the Bravos 1-0. So we're going to take a timeout here, and you will hear Braves baseball on the other side tomorrow. We are over at Woody Anderson Ford. Appreciate you listening in to The Drive here on this Tuesday.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It's an amazing time in our industry. Things are changing so rapidly.